say. Over to you, Mike.
I want to talk about several areas. First of all, basically what iHelp is, the type of requests that we get for assistance, some unusual queries, which is really for a bit of amusement more than anything else, some of the challenges we face, and also some general points about iHelp and how there's probably lots of services that we provide, the club provides, that people are unaware of. So first of all, talking about what the service is, iHelp is available to all Melbourne PC members and only to Melbourne PC members, although I will confess to having violated that on one occasion with a member of another club who needed some help, and great stuff. I was able to persuade him to join Melbourne PC so he could have that for free. And he's done so. Very good. And that also means I get 3 months off my annual subs, which is great. It's a 5-day-a-week service. We run from 10:30 a.m. until 3 p.m. and our 7 members are rostered on to various times during that period. What happens is that members can contact us by email, they can phone us, or they can use the Pure Chat service. I have to say, in recent weeks, not very many people have been using Pure Chat. Used to get a fair bit of traffic, but it seems to have died off. Don't know the reason for that. You can call any time of the day or night, of course, but if you do, you'll get put through to a voicemail, which will then go to all of the iHelp team, and somebody will pick it up and put it in the database. Now, in the first 6 months of this year, we dealt with over 700 calls coming from over 300 members of the club. So it's a fair bit of traffic that we have. Looking at the sort of calls for help that we get, the most common by far is passwords. People have forgotten their passwords, or it doesn't work for various reasons, and so sometimes we have to supply a new password. Sometimes we come up with ways to get people through the problem of having forgotten it. We get obscure things like people asking about programming languages from the 1960s, and there's not too many people left who can answer those questions. Sometimes it's the printer not working. Sometimes it's new equipment that won't work and refuses to be registered by the operating system. Wi-Fi is quite often a cause. Sometimes it's questions about Word or PowerPoint or Excel, Thunderbird or Outlook. Something's not working as people would expect. And sometimes it's just something within an app. The app is working, but some function has gone wrong. Looking at some of the unusual queries we've had, quite a while back, a caller had difficulties with an Excel spreadsheet. It was used to index quite a complicated inventory of references to various subject matters, and the links wouldn't work properly. It was most unusual, and I have a feeling that Microsoft might have actually changed the way that hyperlinks work, because what happened was that the hyperlink was across the entire row, not in the cell that was intended to go to a particular reference. So I volunteered to try and fix it, and found that I could actually delete the hyperlink that was across the whole row and then put it into a particular cell. So it's hard to know how did that happen in the first place. That's why I think that the hyperlinking process might have changed within Excel over the years. But anyway, it was fixed. And another Excel query, which was really outside the scope of iHelp, but I couldn't resist it because I like Excel, was that a member had a large list of things and needed to highlight entries that met a particular condition. So I volunteered to put conditional formatting in to do that, and that was a big help to the member. A recent one was a member's webcam that wasn't working after NBN had been installed. Don't ask me why NBN should affect it in any way, but it wasn't working. So we went through the usual things. Let's look at all the settings. We used the wonderful Quick Assist to do this, and I think Quick Assist has been misnamed because it's actually very, very slow to get started. Once it's started, it's okay. Anyway, looked at all the properties, everything was okay, and really couldn't see any reason why the darn webcam wouldn't work. Had a little bit of a poke around on the desktop, and there's the original installation software for the webcam, which was supposedly installed. Anyway, strange messages to say that it's not completely installed. How can it not be completely installed? So we double-clicked the software, it ran, and the webcam started up. How's that? Now, sometimes, and I wouldn't want to single out any particular software supplier, but I think we all know where they're located in North America, where I used to live and work. The test of madness is when you keep doing the same thing and expect to get a different result. Well, on one particular occasion, I tried the same thing 12 times. On the 13th attempt, it worked. So I wasn't mad. The software was mad. Sometimes when we're answering a query, it's evident, and I guess this is more germane to the theme of this session, somebody simply wants to have somebody to talk to. We've got a lot of elderly members living alone, and it's not too hard to pick up the fact that they want to have a bit of a chat. Well, that's okay. That's good. We have a chat. Now, sometimes we get questions which are beyond the expertise of the iHelper, because we're not all experts in everything. And help is a thing that's been around in the club for many, many years, and it has only recently been resurrected. And Dial Help lists people who are experts in particular subjects, so they can be phoned or emailed, and you'll get a response from a subject matter expert, which is a really good thing. Turning now to some of the challenges. Some of our members have got sight, hearing or speech impediments, and that can make it difficult to do the job. There is some general forgetfulness amongst a number of our members, and some of the problems are so complex that you can't really do it over the phone. Well, that's where Quick Assist comes in to help do it, and you can take control of the person's computer, which is great. Sometimes you get nervous. We have a service called Home Visits, which is generally for people who may have some handicaps or confined to their homes, can't get out. And I went to a retirement village not very far from where I live, and a charming couple, they both had a tremendous background, welcomed me. And the man opened his laptop and said, "Oh, this is what's important to me." And he proceeded to put in his username and password and opened up his term deposit of several $100,000. I sat there thinking, oh my stars, I hope he doesn't get robbed. There's no way I can remember all the stuff he put in. But if he did get robbed, I wonder who'd be the prime suspect in this crime. Just turning to general things, there's I don't know how many of you have been to the iHelp page, but at the top of the Melbourne PC site, there's a number of menu items across the top, and the one on the far right is iHelp. Now, if you click on that, you've then got access to a menu of a lot of help subjects that you can click on and actually get the little text that will show you the tricks, how to do things. There's also a very important facility there called Check Your Email, a little button called Check Your Email. And when you click on that, it's probably the easiest way to get into your email and to Office 365 online. And very often when people say, I can't remember my password, or the password isn't working, if we go in that way, the computer has, or the browser more correctly, has actually remembered the password. So you don't have to get a fresh password. The browser's remembered it, and you can get into your email and get into Office 365. Another point I'd like to make is that quite a few of us in iHelp are getting on a bit, and we could do with some new members. So if there's any younger people there who are hankering after an IT job, it's a very good training ground to join iHelp and offer help to your fellow club members. You find that is rewarding. The iHelp phone number is 92764088, and the email is ihelp@melpc.org.au. And Peter, I'm sure you're not ready to ring that bell yet, but I am.